How do you do? People who try to have the best of both worlds, living a life of contradictions, at first find themselves straddling the differences. But as the worlds diverge more and more, they find themselves being split apart, falling into the emptiness between. Like the man in this story, they begin to disintegrate. Restoration comes only when the heart and mind and life are unshackled.
Hello?
Daddy? Joe's gone. He took off last night in one of his friend's cars and didn't come back.
Where'd he go?
No one knows. He didn't tell his friend. He just took the car and didn't come back.
You mean he stole it?
Yes. I suppose the police will be getting involved.
What about the restaurant? Do I need to go there?
No. Trevor's there now trying to pick up the pieces, and she's going to get rid of all those dope heads.
I hope he comes to his senses.
There's nothing we can do, Daddy. We have to let him hit bottom. After that, it's up to Joel.
Pray, Christy. Pray as you've never prayed before.
Unshackled, the longest-running radio drama in the history of broadcasting, brings you dramatic, true-life stories that proclaim the good news produced in Chicago by Pacific Garden Mission. In Chicago, men and women with nowhere to go can always come to Pacific Garden Mission. The doors never close there, and the motto is, never give up on them. For nearly 121 years, the old lighthouse has witnessed the most unlikely transformations ever seen. Hapless and helpless, many on the verge of suicide, those who come to the mission receive more than they ever dreamed possible. More than food, clothing, and shelter, more than medical and dental care if needed, and all without charge. They receive the means to change everything, the gift of unconditional love and forgiveness from the only one who can give them new life. That's good news. Now for broadcast around the earth, here's program number 2486 in the series Unshackled, the program that makes you face yourself and think. The man in the following story grew up in a loving family, worked hard, and had a good attitude. When he graduated from high school, he was one of these most likely to succeed. And yet by the time he was 40, he had lost everything worthwhile, from his family to his self-respect. To those who think it couldn't happen to them, listen and take notice. The fall began with a few small stumbles. This is the true story of Joel Holmes right now on Unshackled.
I was born in 1949 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and raised in a small mill town. No one had money, but everyone was close and everyone seemed like family. My childhood was filled with warm memories, everything that was fun and good. We never even locked our doors then. Although my daddy owned a small grocery store, we were poor. Church was the center of our life.
That was an important step you took today, Joel.
Oh, Daddy, that sermon was powerful. I had to go forward and give my life to God.
I'm really proud of you, son. The Bible says there's more rejoicing in heaven over one repentant sinner than over all the righteous acts of a good man.
Daddy, I know that you're a deacon, but, what does it mean to be a deacon?
Well, it means you should be a good example to others, like living my life in a way that pleases God and helps others.
Oh, you mean like working in the soup kitchen, huh?
Yeah, but mostly it's wanting God's will for your life.
Well, Daddy, that's what I want. I want God's will for my life.
Good. We'll pray about that tonight before you go to bed.
Even though I prayed with Daddy that night, my real conversion would come more than 30 years later. My protected world opened up in high school. I was on the varsity golf team playing at country clubs around the state, where I saw the trappings of wealth and people who were clearly not leading a godly life. Doubt crept into my mind about the need to live by the Bible. Even so, I was faithful to biblical teachings mostly because my father was.
Daddy, guess what?
What's all the excitement?
I'm the new Cavalier mascot. Can you believe it?
How did that happen?
It started out as a joke. Oh, me and the guys tried out for it, and I was chosen. Ooh, I never had any idea they'd pick me. The last guy, he was kind of wimpy, and old Ben, he says, "Come on, Joe, you can be a real Cavalier."
You think you like getting out in front of the crowd at games and motivating them?
Oh, yeah. Today, Mr. B introduced me at the assembly, and I gave the touchdown sign. Man, you should have heard the yelling and screaming. This gonna be fun.
Oh, that's good, son. Being able to lead people like that, God can use that kind of boldness.
Being a school mascot opened many doors to me. Overnight stardom. I liked being part of the in crowd, and by senior year, I was a big man on campus. My grades went up along with my popularity. People looked up to me and respected me for my faith, but early in my senior year, one of my best friends was killed in a car accident.
I was real sorry to hear about Jim.
Oh, Daddy, I still can't believe he's gone.
Did he know the Lord, Joel?
Well, not that I know of. Oh, I prayed for him every day, and he was trying to live a better life.
You did what you could, son.
Now I understand why we should win people to Christ. You never know how much time you have here on earth.
That's true. Yes.
You know, it's funny, buddy, but I thought I wanted to fly for the Navy, but that door's closed because my eyes aren't good enough. But I think I'd like to preach.
When you were little, you used to come home from church, set up a pulpit, and preach the whole sermon to us, all over again.
Oh, it's true. He did.
Well, you know, when I finish college, I'm going on to seminary. I went to college in Tennessee, where I began to dabble with many things that I hadn't done before. There, I drank my first beer to feel accepted and be included by others. By the end of freshman year, alcohol was a major factor in my life, and I started going to Knoxville on weekends with guys from the dorm so we could party and drink more.
Hey, man, that is the longest red light in the world.
You're right there. You can grow old driving around Knoxville.
Hey, Joel, look.
Huh?
That guy in the car next to us, he wants something.
Oh, yeah? Hey, he wants to drag down the hill.
Well, sure enough. Do it, man. You can't lose.
I got it.
Hey, the light's about to turn green. Go, Joel, go. Oh, hey, the light at the bottom is turning red.
Man, what have I done?
Hey, you guys all right?
Okay. Come on, let's get out of here, case burns.
Oh, this car is history, Joel.
Yeah. What is that ringing?
Burglar alarm. You crashed into the bank.
No one was injured in that accident, but I wasn't so fortunate the second time. A friend and I had been gambling in Greenville until the early morning hours. Driving back, once again drunk, I fell asleep at the wheel and ran a red light. A tractor-trailer hit us broadside, throwing my friend out of the car.
Hello, son.
Hey, Daddy. Mama? Oh, it's starting to come back to me.
The accident?
Mm-hmm. How's Eddie?
He'll be all right. Can't say the same for the car, though. It was totaled.
Oh, Mama, I'm so sorry.
First new car I ever owned.
Oh, I can buy another car for your mother, Joel, but I can't buy another son.
We weren't even sure you could be yourself again. That was a bad concussion.
God saved my life, didn't he?
Yeah? Police say you were drunk, Joel.
I was really stupid, Daddy.
God is trying to get your attention, son. If you continue in this lifestyle, you might die.
I was a senior in college then, a real alcoholic. Alcohol turned me into an introvert, a loner, afraid of making friends, afraid they'd discover how bad I really was. I changed majors several times, no longer anxious to go to seminary, no longer reading my Bible or considering the things I'd been taught. I spent my time and money on drugs, starting with pot, experimenting with speed, heroin, and cocaine. I graduated in 1971 as a physical education major and took a job teaching in junior high school.
Your team is doing great, Joe.
Oh, they're great, all right. They sure are. 26 games, we only lost 3.
You thinking of making this your career?
Hey, I could be a great basketball coach. I don't know about saying with junior high kids. I mean, they're great kids and all that, but...
You can make more money in the pros.
Yeah, that, and, well, there's a problem of being a good example.
You mean not drinking booze?
You're right there.
I have to admit, I was surprised to know you were drinking.
Yeah, well, a lot of parents would be surprised, too.
Yeah, they frown on that here in the South, old buddy. Teachers are supposed to walk on water.
Well, I don't walk on water, and I don't drink it either. Give me a beer any day.
Well, then you either have to find other work or quit drinking.
Quit drinking? Not likely. Instead, I quit teaching and took a job at twice the salary as a salesman with a trucking firm, where drinking after work was a nightly ritual followed by pool halls and striptease joints. Weekends, I partied with friends, alcohol, and drugs. In 1976, I married a girl 8 years my junior. She was the sister-in-law of my boss. I quit using drugs, and I tried hard to change for the better.
Hello?
Hey, Daddy, I want to tell you some good news.
What's that?
I've been promoted to company sales manager.
Oh, that's great, son. You'll get a raise then.
Oh, yeah, maybe we can buy a house, but we're going to have to move to Charlotte.
Well, that's not too far away.
Hey, how's the restaurant doing?
Well, fine. God has really blessed us.
Look, Daddy, I got to run. I got a million things to do.
Don't forget about the Lord, son.
I hardly thought about the things of God. The things of the world had taken over. For a long time, my wife tolerated my drinking, which increased with every promotion. A year after we moved to Charlotte, I became regional sales manager, and we transferred to Atlanta. I met and worked with men who were not afraid to break the law.
Hey, Louie, hand me that bill of lading, okay? Yeah, here, okay. Yeah, here you go, Joel. Never mind the contents. It's phony as a $3 bill anyway.
Well, looks good to me.
The trucks are sealed anyway, right?
Yeah, shouldn't be any problem.
Good. You know, that's what I like about working with you, Joel. Never any problems. Now, let's all go out and have a drink to celebrate,
Hey,
okay?
I'm always ready for that.
Yeah, well, we're going to take you to a club where you will not believe the women.
I was in awe of these men who moved in the fast lane, flashing $100 bills. There's always a fix going on, schemes to make more money. They gave me $300 or $400 a month to sign their phony documents. Even though we had 2 wonderful sons by then, I ignored my wife and went out nearly every night drinking and chasing other women. I began to use drugs again and didn't consider the consequences.
In a moment, we'll learn what consequences Joel did face. Nothing burns like the fires of regret, memories ever fresh, never consumed, or so it seems. And yet there is a way to quench those fires, to bring beauty from the ashes. You can find that way in the Gospel of John, living words that will not only lead you out of the darkness into the light, but will enable you to reach out to others who are trapped. To help you in this, we offer free a Gospel of John Bible study course. There is no charge at any time for this 6-lesson course, designed for those who hunger for answers to life's unending problems. And there is an answer, clear and relevant to your situation. As you work your way through each study, you will find the light of truth shining on your own problems, giving you insight and direction, a rock on which to stand to face whatever comes your way. There's nothing to buy, and you can work at your own pace. All you need is a Bible and a pencil. To begin your Gospel of John Bible study course, just write to Pacific Garden Mission.
The address of Pacific Garden Mission is 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. That's Pacific Garden Mission, 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. The phone number, 312-492-9410. 312-492-9410.
Our email address is unshackled at pgm.org. and please include your address.
My wife did everything in her power to make our marriage work, but I was too deep in the pit of sin to see that I'd trampled any hope. Between the bitter divorce in 1981 and the drugs and alcohol, I was so unproductive I lost my job. My wife later married a wonderful man who also loved my children. I was collecting the wages of my sin, the death of my marriage, and the death of my career. I turned to my friends.
Say I'm sorry to hear about your personal troubles, Joel.
I'll tell you, last thing I needed was lose my job. Alimony payments are eating me alive.
Listen, Joel, you did our company a lot of favors. Maybe I can help you now. How would you like to work for me, huh?
Working for you?
I'm looking for a good manager for a company I have on the East Coast. You'd have to move, though.
Move? Well, I don't mind moving.
Well, I'll make it worth your while, Joel. And I'm sure you'll find ways to, shall we say, improve the operation, make it even more profitable.
Before I realized what was going on, I was involved with organized crime. Once they knew I could be bought, they had me do other illegal things. I knew I was in way over my head. During the next 8 years, I was in and out of jails up and down the coast for various offenses, including assault and battery. The guilt and fear drove me into greater drug use, the one thing the crime world wouldn't tolerate.
I hope your time in the slammer wasn't too bad, Joel.
No, I couldn't let that guy come in the plant and stir up trouble like that, but maybe I shouldn't have been so rough with him.
Look, you do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Which brings me to something unpleasant that I have to do.
Huh?
I've been hearing things about you.
Huh?
Things I don't like. Things we've already talked about.
Oh, yeah? Well, what's that?
Drugs. We don't like drug addicts in the business, Joel. I asked you to stop.
Yeah, I know. Look, I tried.
That's the problem. A drug addict will do anything for a fix. They can't be trusted, and the men don't like it. You being part of everything. I think it's time for you to go.
I've been thinking about going back home to see the folks.
You know a lot about the business, Joel. Too much. Ordinarily, I wouldn't let someone like you get away from us. But you saved my life once, and I can't forget something like that. Now go on home and get your life together. But be careful.
Joe! Walter, it's Joe!
Joe, thank God you've come home.
Oh, Daddy and Mama, I sure made a mess out of my life.
Oh, that's all right, son. You're home now. Everything's going to be okay.
You can have your old room back if you need a place to stay.
And you can sure help me in the restaurant. Business is booming.
Oh, Daddy, I'm sorry I'm such a disappointment. I messed up big time.
Well, we knew you were in some kind of trouble, son, but it's probably better if we don't know all the details. We've been praying for you every day.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so glad you did. Only God could have got me out the mess I was in. I stopped drinking and using drugs while I lived with Mama and Daddy. And they helped me every way they could because they wanted to see me get back on my feet. For a year, I worked with Daddy in a restaurant. It had taken him years to build up. And my life seemed to be back on track.
Joel, you're doing real well in the business.
Well, Daddy, got a good teacher.
No, not me. I only had a third-grade education, remember?
Well, you sure turned it to good use. You built one of the finest family restaurants in the state.
42 years I've been working, and I think it's time to quit.
To quit? Wait, you mean that?
Yeah. Your mother and I have been talking. I'm ready to retire. We'd like to do some things we've never had time for, like traveling.
Oh.
And I'd like to get more involved in our church building program. I really enjoy fundraising.
Well, that's great, Daddy.
Well, you're doing all right now. I feel confident that I can turn the restaurant over to you.
Ooh, that's a big responsibility, Daddy. I'm gonna try and make you proud of me. I did try in my own strength. I threw myself into the business and bought a home near the restaurant so I could walk to work. As we prospered, I opened another outlet, and everything went well for about 3 years. Then a girl I was dating broke off with me, leaving me lonely and lost. And I started drinking again and got hooked on crack cocaine, a drug that destroys faster than any other. In no time, my habit was $4,000 a week. My debts and bad decisions were destroying the business my father had built. And the family called a conference.
We have to decide what to do. Joel has run up some debts, and he wants us to help.
Again? He's already borrowed from everybody, Daddy.
I know.
He's lost all the good workers you had and replaced them with dope heads.
I know.
And he's run off all the customers you built up over the years. I hate to even go in there anymore.
I know.
It just doesn't make sense to keep bailing him out. He'll never get any better if we prop him up. We have to show Joel tough love, Daddy. Let him experience the consequences.
Even if he loses the business?
Yes, Daddy. Even if he loses the business.
All right. Let's keep praying for him. Please, God, have mercy on my son.
I was so full of guilt and shame, I thought the only answer was to run away. So I stole a friend's car and headed west, drinking all the way. Got as far as Gulfport, Mississippi, where I woke up in a drunken state in the back seat of the car, parked on a beachfront highway. I sat on the beach all that day, October 7, 1994. I was 45 years old and a failure. My father had never in his life had a drink or used any kind of drugs, but all those things destroyed his lifelong work because of what I had done. As the sun went down, I began to weep. Oh, God, help. Please help me. I'm sorry for the way I sinned against you. I've ruined everything my daddy worked so hard to accomplish. I'm so ashamed. I don't know what to do, Lord. Please, help me go back and do what's right.
Joel! Thank God you come back.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so ashamed. Can you forgive me?
Yes, of course I forgive you, son.
Thank you, Daddy. I took my friend's car, and I have to get it back to him. Will you go with me?
Yes. Let's go.
Oh.
Where did you go?
I drove to Mississippi, and I sat on the beach all day, hating myself.
We were praying for you.
I feel terrible about losing the restaurant, Dad.
We won't lose it.
Yeah. My sisters are really special to help straighten out the mess I've made. I don't know how I went so wrong, Dad. And I don't know exactly how to salvage my life. You know, I sat in that beach watching the sun go down. I knew without a doubt that God was real, and He still loves me.
God is always faithful to us, Joel, even when we aren't.
Daddy went with me all the way to return the car to my friend's house, where once again I found forgiveness. Then we went to see my sister.
I'm so glad your friend isn't going to bring charges against you, Joel.
Oh, he knew I had big problems, but he forgave me.
Well, that's God again, acting on your behalf to give you favor with others.
Yeah. My friend thinks I should get some help, maybe some kind of drug treatment program.
Well, not just any kind of program, Joel. You need to get into a Christ-centered one. And I know just the place.
What, you mean here in town?
No, it's in Greenwood.
We'll take you there, son.
I'd been at the Christian Rehabilitation Home for about 3 weeks when a pastor came in and spoke one night, and his words went straight to my heart.
You men found out how easy it is to get high, to get addicted on drugs and alcohol and the things of this world. Well, now you need to get addicted to Jesus.
Amen.
You weren't getting high, man. You were getting low. Let me read you what God says in Romans chapter 6, verse 16.
Read it, brother.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, His servants ye are, to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. You are enslaved to Satan, and you are paying lots of money to stay in bondage. Don't you know that Jesus came to set you free? You had to pay for your addiction to drugs, but salvation is free, paid for by God's grace. Nothing can touch the love of Jesus Christ. He died on the cross for your sins. You want to get high? Give your life to Christ. Follow him. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Weeping, I asked God to forgive me for my sins and use me as his vessel. That day I surrendered my life completely to the Lord and received power to do that which I had tried so long to do in my own strength. The change in my life after that night was dramatic. When I left the home after 4 months, God provided a job working the third shift. I used my spare time to volunteer with the prison ministry of my church. 2 or 3 times a week I gave my testimony at the prison. I was later ordained and I began helping at the downtown rescue mission in Spartanburg. I continued to provide financial support for my children and enjoy my relationship with them and my ex-wife.
You're going to be a full-time chaplain there?
Uh-huh. And the men's program director. I'm so thrilled, Daddy.
Well, you had to learn the hard way.
I did, Daddy. You know, I love Psalm 40, verses 2 and 3. It says, He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And He has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in the Lord.
Have you put your trust in the Lord? There's no better time than now. God's love is unconditional. His forgiveness is for any who calls on the name of His Son, Jesus Christ. 1 John chapter 5, verses 11 and 12 tells us, And this is the record that God hath given to us eternal life, and this life is in His Son. He that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son of God hath not life.
Please note, our new address here at Pacific Garden Mission is 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. That's 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Our new phone number is 312-492-9410. 312-492-9410. Our new address here at Pacific Garden Mission is 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. That's 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Our new phone number is 312-492-9410. 312-492-9410.
We mean well, but we don't always get it right. Sometimes you make decisions out of anger. Sometimes you make decisions out of lust. Sometimes you make decisions out of greed. God will take care of you not only through tough times, but God will take care of you when you make ill-advised decisions.
Hello and welcome to Destined for Victory with Pastor Paul Shepherd. We're so glad you've joined us. Let me ask you, have you ever made a bad decision, one that could have gone much worse without God's help? If so, I encourage you to share that story with your friends and family because it may help someone who's feeling guilty about past mistakes. Today, Pastor Paul shares a story of his own, straight from the pages of the Old Testament Scripture. Ruth and Naomi made a decision that many would call ill-advised. God took care of them anyway. So stay with us now or visit pastorpaul.net to listen anytime on demand. That's pastorpaul.net. And here is Pastor Paul with today's Destined for Victory message, God will take care of you.
A few minutes, they called us all into a conference room where they proceeded to explain that they didn't like the numbers in this division of the parent company. And so the board had decided that they were going to cut out this part of the operation. And all of us were paid by this part of the operation. And so finally, after they explained that and they said how little bit money it was making, and they said, frankly, we could leave our money just in financial institutions and make more than this division is making. And they said, so we're just going to cut it out. And so finally one person said, well now, okay, so what's the timeline? When are you going to cut this out? And the man said, well, at the close of work today, many of you will be done. We'll need a few of you just to help us kind of begin to pull things together and do records and all that. Well, so some of you will work daily until we get some things done, but most of you, this is it. And so one lady started crying. She said, I just bought a house. I just got my mortgage. I don't understand how I'm going to make it and what have you. She started weeping. Then somebody raised their hand and said, all right, now some of us in middle management, we're driving company cars. Said, so now how much time do we have before we have to turn our cars in? And you already know what the answer was. You will turn your car in at the end of the day. I didn't even know how to get home on the bus from that job. I had never gone up there on the bus. When I first went, I was driving my own little runaround raggedy car at the time. And then once they gave me access to the rental fleet, then I stopped. So my car was home. I had come up there on the company car. And now they said I got to leave the company car there. And I don't even know how to get home on the bus. I called up Sister M. I was dating her at the time. I said, you're going to have to come after you get off your job. You're going to have to come pick me up at my job. She said, why? What's the problem? I said, stop asking questions. You know, you get cranky when you see your money. You see your money walking out the door. Anybody? I know y'all looking holy, but you've been cranky before. And a spirit of crankiness came on me. Said, stop asking questions. Why don't you just come get me? Hung up the phone and said, that's what's wrong with her now. She asked too many questions. She came up and got me, and there I am in the passenger seat of her car being driven home. Stuff happens. It even happens to Christians. Don't blame God. God didn't mess up the company. If they honored him, if they gave a tithe to the kingdom, I'm sure we'd have still been working at the car leasing place. We live in a fallen world. We live in an economic system run by people who don't care about God's principles. Things fall apart. Companies come apart. And then you have corporate raiders come in and buy you out and do all this and lay off hundreds of people. That stuff happens. Don't blame God. God didn't do it. The fact that we're fallen is what is responsible for so much of the chaos that sometimes we have to deal with. When you see this terrorist activity that we're seeing in our world, don't blame God. They are people who are falling out of the will of God, just like everyone else who refuses to trust him as Savior. You know, some of the worst things in human history have happened by religious people who are out of sync with God. There's nothing worse than religion that's out of sync with God. Give me a room full of heathens, pagans who don't know God, don't want to know God, aren't interested in religion. If I got to choose between them and a bunch of religious fanatics who don't love God, including the ones in churches, I'm going with the pagans every time. I promise you, I'm going with the pagans. Have you ever been to church? No, I'm going with you. Because some of these religious devils, some of these demonically influenced religious people, they're the worst thing you'll ever run into in your life. Because they blame their dysfunction and their meanness and their hatred and all of that, their murderous spirits, they blame it on God. They say, God is the one who told me to do this. As I preach, there are Christians being beheaded in certain parts of the world right now, and all they did was said, I serve and love the Lord Jesus Christ. You could get on a plane and go to parts of the world right now, and unless the Lord supernaturally delivers you, you will lose your life. And all you did was said, I belong to Jesus. And that's the kind of world we live in. I preached on 9/11, 2001. The Sunday after 9/11, all of our churches were full. I told my pastor friends that week, as we were all preparing to preach, I think it was 5 days after those attacks was a Sunday, and we were all getting ready to preach, and I was talking to my pastor friends. I said, listen, if you've ever preached a plain, clear message in your life, you need to do it this Sunday, because they're coming. And boy, did they flood into our churches. It was like a national altar call. They were all there. At the church I was pastoring at the time, we were in a little warehouse. 300 people could sit in the sanctuary, 300 in the overflow. And it was jam-packed all day long. People coming in we had never seen. First-time visitors. There was no point in pointing out first-time visitors. Half the church was first-time visitors. And that morning, I preached a message called An American Tragedy in Biblical Perspective. And I talked about the fact that we live in a fallen world. And what we had just experienced as a nation was not to be blamed on God. However, I went on to say, but although God didn't will it and God didn't do it, God will use it to get our attention. And I went on and talked about that and shared the gospel message and talked about the importance of living in fellowship and relationship with him and all of that. Folk got saved all day long. The Mercury News sent a reporter and a photographer to our church, as well as to, I think, 4 or 5 other churches throughout the Bay Area that day. And they were all going to put together a little portrait of church responses to 9/11. So we were one of 5 churches, I think it was 5 or 6 churches that they had sent folk to. And so the reporter from the Mercury News was there and the photographer was there. And after one of the services, the photographer came up to me and said, can I pray with somebody? When he got through taking his pictures, he wanted to get saved. And we prayed with him. He accepted Christ right on the spot. And his pictures look better ever since. No, but his heart was right. And he had peace with God through Jesus Christ. Listen, my friends, I'm here to tell you, we live in a fallen world. Things aren't always going to go well. And when they don't go well, don't blame it on God. This text doesn't say God sent a famine. It said a famine came. God wasn't trying to kill folk. But living in this fallen world, the famine came to the land. And so this family decided that they would leave the area for at least the foreseeable future in the best interest of them being able to survive. Now, personally, I've heard people weigh in, theologians weigh in, and they say it was God just kind of setting things up so eventually Ruth could come into the picture. Personally, I don't believe God had to do it that way. I think God is able to fulfill his will no matter what has to be done. So I don't necessarily buy into the notion that they had to move there at that time in order for God to bring all this to pass. He could have done it in a number of ways. But they made the decision to go to Moab. which typically people of Israel would not go because of their historical problems with the people of Moab. So they wouldn't normally go there, but this family chose, let's go down there and live there among the Moabite people for a while. So you could argue, and some argue, that that was an ill-advised decision. Here's what I love about being a child of God. When you're a child of God, even if you make a well-intended, ill-advised decision. All right, wait, y'all looking holy. Have any of you ever made a well-intentioned, ill-advised decision? What that means is, thank you for the hands already. I'm explaining for the other folks so they get their hands up too. What that means is you thought, based on what was going on, you wanted to do something good. The decision you ended up making was whack. You weren't trying to be whack. It just didn't work out like it was in your head. Now, have any of y'all ever done that? Thank you. So glad I got an honest church to preach this message to. If anybody on your road didn't raise your hand, just stretch out your hand and pray for them right now. Oh, God, they're in denial. Open their eyes, Lord. Let them tell the truth. Sure, we've all done it. Well-intentioned, but ill-advised. And so some would argue that's what they did here. Some would say they were just acting out of divine leading, even if they didn't realize what God was doing. You can argue that all day long. I'm not interested in arguing. Here's the point I want to make. God will take care of you not only through tough times, but God will take care of you when you make ill-advised decisions. If this was ill-advised, God said, I'm still going to take care of them. And I'm glad to know that about God, because we don't always get it right. We mean well, but we don't always get it right. And sometimes we get in our flesh and don't even mean well. Sometimes you make decisions out of anger. Sometimes you make decisions out of lust. Sometimes you make decisions out of greed. I'm still talking to church folk, and y'all still need to be saying amen.
Coming up next, the rest of Pastor Paul Shepard's message, God Will Take Care of You, on this Wednesday edition of Destined for Victory. PastorPaul.net is the place to go to hear any recent Destined for Victory message on demand. That's PastorPaul.net. And while you're there, be sure to visit our online store for a host of great resources, including books and DVD messages. You can also watch selected video clips by subscribing to Pastor Paul on YouTube. For more details and links to all of his social media sites, be sure to visit us at PastorPaul.net. Now, let's continue today's message with Pastor Paul. God will take care of you.
Sometimes you make decisions out of impulse. You just don't think first. You sure don't pray first. You just make the decision. And I'm so glad we serve a God who's not in heaven looking at every little thing you do. Talking about, you wasn't supposed to do that. I'm going to curse you. You wasn't supposed to do that. I'm going to make that mess up. You wasn't supposed. God is not like that. Please get a biblical picture of God. God loves his kids. He is the God of the prodigal son. That's what that story is about. The prodigal son actually went to his daddy and said, give me my money now. I'm not waiting for you to die. Give it to me now, and I'm out of here. And the father gave it to him. You know that had to be talking about God. That wouldn't be any father you ever heard of. First of all, if you raise like me, if you start the sentence with gimme, come on, some of y'all. If that's the first thing out your mouth, forget the money. You got a bigger problem. That story is there to show you and me that sometimes God will let you have your way so that you can learn through experience what you should have learned through submission. If we would just submit to God's plan, we'd all be better off. If we just submit to the leadership he puts in our lives, we'd all be better off. But sometimes we don't want it God's way. We want what we want, when we want it, how we want it. And every now and then, don't you buy into this stuff. I've heard folks say, God love you so much, he'll shut all the doors. He shuts some doors, but some, when you are just insisting on getting through that door, anybody ever experienced God letting you go head on through it? If you just have to have it that way, God will say, I'm not going to stand in your way. God doesn't block you. He's given you free will. And free will means you can do what you want, but you can't escape the consequences of doing what you want. This is good. I'm going to get this CD myself. You can do what you want. I came to tell somebody, you can do what you want. But instead of a grin breaking out on your face, that ought to sober you. That ought to make you sober. That ought to make you say, if God can let me make a mess, I better wait and think this through and pray this through and put my ego in check and do what I have to do to position myself so that I can experience the things he wants for me. So these people are dealing with a famine, and then they're dealing with the decision to leave. Generally speaking, you wouldn't want to leave where God's people are. This is a word for some of y'all who are thinking about not coming to church for a while because you're going through stuff. Are you kidding me? When you're going through stuff, you need to beat me here. You need to beat most of us here. You go through enough, you ought to be standing out there waiting for the people to open the doors. Oh, I'm trying to help somebody. You need to be standing there. I don't think they open the building until 7:30, whatever time it is. You need to be out there by 6:45. Just said, they'll be here sooner or later. Soon as Starbucks open, you go get your little Starbucks because, you know, how do y'all love Starbucks? You need to be standing there sipping your Starbucks and waiting on somebody to open up the building. Why? Because I need to be where God's people are. I need to be where they're going to sing. I need to be where they're going to tell me about the love of God. I need to be where somebody's going to pray for me. I need to be somewhere where they're going to preach the word to me. I'm not staying home because I'm going through trouble. I'm going to church because I'm going through trouble. And some of y'all got to get this thing right. You will be blessed in his presence. You'll be blessed among his people. Blessings can be contagious. If I'm going through a tough time, I want to worship with somebody who has come through a storm. I'm in my storm. You came out of your storm. I'm standing next to you while we sing. Because I'm waiting to be the next in line to come out of my storm. Don't you dare sit home with an attitude. I don't believe God letting me go through what I'm going through. I've been paying my tithes. Well, not my tithes, but at least I give. You know, I give something. Don't do that. Don't offend God. Talking about with what you've done, you deserve to live a carefree life. None of us deserve to live a carefree life. We're in a sin-infested world. We live in a place where that's full of problems and swift transitions. But the whole hymn writer said, but whatever you do, hold to God's unchanging hand. Build your hopes on things eternal. I'm glad I got some old church folk in here. Build your hopes on things eternal and hold to God's unchanging hand. One thing for sure, he's going to get you through what you're going through. If you hold on to him, he's not a loser. So if I hold on to him, I know he'll bring me out. I know he'll bring me through. I know he'll make a way. I know he'll open a door. I know he's going to bless my life. Hold to God's unchanging hand. Don't let the devil talk you out of your blessing. Stay fixed and focused on the Lord God. He will bring you through. He said, I'm going to bring my people out. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but that's not all to the sentence. But God delivers them out of them all. Anybody ever been afflicted? Guess where you are now? You're on the other side of the worst of that because God pulled you through. Anybody ever experienced tough times? Notice that you're still here. Notice you're still here. When the devil starts messing with you, say, you unemployed right now. I don't know why you standing up. I'm standing up because I'm still here. I'm standing up because I was able to put some food in my mouth. I was able to be blessed. I was able to clothe myself, and I'm still here. Oh, somebody needs to rejoice. I'm still here. I haven't come out of everything I'm going through, but I'm still here. Just make the devil mad. Just tell him, but I'm here. And that's a sign that God's not finished with me yet. So even if you're right in the thick of it, even if for you right now it's the worst it's ever been, you're still here. And that means God is still on the throne. They went through famine. They're still God's people. And they experienced an ill-advised decision, some would say, but they're still God's people. And then the last part is, and they lose the 3 men in the family in a patriarchal society. That means Naomi now can't claim her husband's property in her name, because in their society, it can't be in her name. And some of y'all would be trying to organize protests. But they understood there's nothing we can do about this situation but trust God. And some of us, with all our independence and my voice has power and all that, I promise you still gonna run into something in life that with all of your finagling and all of your calling legal representative and all of that stuff, you're gonna still have to trust God. Oh, I just came to tell somebody that at the end of the day, you still better put your hope in God. Let folk help you all they can help you. Do the best you can. But at the end of the day, the old saints had it right. They got on their knees and said, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thyself from me, oh, whither shall I go? At the end of the day, you still gonna have to trust God.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Thanks so much for being here with us for Pastor Paul Shepard's message, God Will Take Care of You. Keep in mind that for your most generous gift today, we'll send you by request a copy of Pastor Paul Shepard's DVD message, Run to Win. In one of the most popular messages Pastor Paul has ever delivered, he compares the Christian life to a long-distance race, sharing lessons he's learned from a friend who twice ran the Boston Marathon. Prepare to be enlightened and inspired as you view this sermon and learn what it takes to win your race. That's Run to Win on DVD, our gift to you today by request for your best gift during this Christmas season to Destined for Victory. Call 855-339-5500 to give over the phone, or mail your gift to Destined for Victory, Post Office Box 1767, Fremont, California 94538. You can also make a safe and secure donation from our website, pastorpaul.net. And thanks in advance for helping Destined for Victory on the air.
There are going to be times when God is nudging you in the direction of His plan and purpose, and you don't hear a loud voice. Sometimes it's more like a whisper or a nudge. But I'm here to say to you that if you will learn to follow God even when He whispers, you will find yourself in the place of destiny and purpose.
That's tomorrow in Pastor Paul Shepard's message, When Destiny Whispers. Until then, remember, He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. In Christ, you are destined for victory.
Hello, 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 hello,
You are listening to, I say you are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you. Thank you very much. I thank you. I thank you very much. It is Friday night at the Funny Farm, and you just never know what might happen on a Friday night. If you notice that there's been some changes in our format, I'll explain to you as much as I can in a little while. How's that? But anyhow, we're oh boy, what a bunch. They laugh because they laugh, and then they laugh some more because they had already laughed. And they make me laugh when they laugh because we all laugh together. Oh my goodness. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us tonight for another 3-program night. And you are now listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm, as we already stated, in a place called Our World. And whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this great big world, we're delighted that you took the time to come and sit with us for a little while. And I'll explain some things to you in a little while. That must be the key phrase tonight. In a little while. But I hope that you enjoyed the previous programs, Unshackled, and then Destined for Victory. I had to stop and think of what it was. I always get it backward. Destined for Victory. And now we are live with the George Espenlaub Show. We've changed some things around because we're changing some other things around. And as we change some other things around, we'll be changing other things around. Does that make a lick of sense? I don't know. But anyhow, that's what we're doing. Changing some things around until we get some other things changed around. I know that doesn't make one lick of sense. I know that. But nonetheless, that's what we're doing. And I'll try to explain it as we go on. But tonight, we're going to play lots of music again. And we're going to lip drip for a little while and try to explain some things to you. Try to get you into a light mood. What is today? Let me look and see. Today is the 13th, so we're only 12 days away from Christmas. My, oh my. The year has quickly gone by. And when you get older, as I am now in my life, the days just seem to go by faster and faster and faster. I want to give a shout out to Wendy Wilson, who is in upstate Delaware. I want to give a shout out one more time to my friend Lou Balls, who is in southern Jersey, and to my cowbell friend. She knows what that means. If you listened last night, many of you other people knows what it means. But Tanya, I want to give her a shout out there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I want to give Claudio Rosano, I'll get it right. I always get my tongue twisted. Claudio Rosano, who is the head baseball coach there at Carnegie Mellon University, I want to give him a shout out tonight. I want to give Randy Osborne a shout out. I want to shout out to Ed Temple, my friend. And I want to shout out to Dr. Kent Hovind. And they're the people that I'm shouting at tonight. So if they're listening, I want to say thank you. And I say I appreciate you so very, very much for everything that you all have done.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. We're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho, ho, ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Merry Christmas Day.
So don't let me go, nah, 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 nah. I'm all up in that love haze. So where do we go, nah, nah? Just let me know that I am safe here in your arms. I wanna stay, stay. I'm slipping away. So don't let me go now. Your love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control, out of control. Oh baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control, out of control. I'm in love. I'm in love. Yeah. I'm slipping away. Yeah. Just like I am dreaming, walking around in this love haze. I wanna stay in this feeling, but let me know that I am safe here in your arms. I wanna stay, stay. I'm slipping away. Oh, so don't let me go now. Your love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control, out of control. But baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control. Your love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control, out of control. Baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control, out of control. I'm in love. I'm in love, deep in love with you, baby, yeah. 'Cause your love is exceptional. Ooh. It's out of control, out of control. It's out of control, but I love the rush, yeah. Out of control, out of control. Oh, it overflows. Ooh, your love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control. But baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control. It's exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control. Baby, I love the rush. Come on, yeah. Out of control. I'm in love.
Wow, were they getting it out on the dance floor tonight? Woohoo! Oh, they love that. They love that. Charlie's over there gesturing at me, as I've explained in the past. He is gesturing at me. Let me see if I can read his gestures. All right, Charlie, now gesture to me exactly what you want me to. You do. Okay. All right. Let's ask the people, because we have the speakers out there in the radio. What's it called? Out there on the dance floor. We have the speakers out there so they can hear us as we broadcast in here, and the people on the outside of the building, they can hear us as well. All right. Let's ask them, Charlie. All right. All right. Do you want to ask them, or do you want me? All right. All right. Charlie said for me to ask you, because you were all getting it with that song, how many of you, give me the best cheer that you've got if it's affirmative, how many of you would like to hear that song again? Let us hear it. All right, that's from the inside and the outside crowd. All right, Charlie. Oh, Charlie, he's just over there. And I mean, some night we're going to have to set the video camera up, because I want everyone to see Charlie in action while he's running that board over there. I sit here and I just laugh sometimes, almost into tears, by what some of the things that he does. He's limited in the space that he can get from the soundboard, because his he don't have wireless earphones. He's got, the attached kind that goes into the system, with the stretchy cord. So he's limited as far as getting away from the soundboard. But I mean, he'll stretch them puppies all the way out. He's over there twirling and dancing, and he's just jigging around, and he's tapping his feet, snapping his finger, bobbing his head, shaking his booty. I mean, he is into music big time. So, Charlie, I'm going to shut up. The people outside want it. The people inside want it. You want it. And yes, indeedy, I want it too. So you hit that baby one more time.
Oh, I'm slipping away, so don't let me go, nah, 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 nah. I'm all up in that love haze, so where do we go, nah, nah? Just let me know that I am safe here in your arms. I wanna stay, stay,
see. Chocolate-flavored Bosco is mighty good for me. Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy.
Bosco gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D.
Oh, I love Bosco. That's the drink for me.
Me too. Hey, anyhow, let me see. I know I can't. I don't even know why I'm attempting to do this. But Espenlaub's going to try to explain what he means when he says our format on the radio program has changed because we are making some changes in order to make some other changes. They're goofy. I am trying my hardest. Really. I'm trying my hardest to explain to our listeners of what is going on around here. Now, here goes. Bear with me. Say a little prayer for me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what I am about to say won't make a lick of sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. What am I doing? It's Friday night here at the Funny Farm. Anyhow, here we go. We are attempting to change things in if you could see Charlie, I've got to set the video camera up. I do. I got to put it on the tripod, aim it directly at Charlie for the whole show because he will just crack you up. Oh, that's right. You can't. You're going to laugh at me when I say this, but I forgot you can't see it on radio. But if I set it up on the tripod and we catch him on video for the whole hour or whatever, however long we're on, we can always upload it to YouTube, and then we can bring it back down and put it on our George Espenlaub show page on Facebook because it's hilarious. He is over there. When I first started to say that I was going to try to explain this, he's over there. He got both hands on his hip, and he's vigorously shaking his head, telling me, "Don't do it, don't do it." And then he takes his hands off his hips, and he's waving his hands in the air, still gesturing to me, "Don't do it, don't do it." Now he won't holler because my mic will pick up his voice, so he doesn't holler at me. He just does all these strange gestures. And there he goes again. Now he's got his hands on his hips again, and he's got his head cocked to one side, looking at me like I've got two heads or something. You see, Charlie, by the time I said all that, explained your antics and the things that you're doing, I could have had this done. All right, I'm not going to pay attention to him. Here I go. All right. Okay. We want to do some different things on the George Espenlaub show when it comes to the radio show. We want to, and I've stated this over, I don't know how many times over the last week, we want to, and we are going to, run more shows because we have access to those programs. We have access to many programs from all across the country, and we want to put them on our platform. That is our main goal. We are right now looking at some software that would do the job perfectly. I mean, it would be magnificent. But we can't seem to get the software hooked up to stream into our Spreaker platform, and then Spreaker, sends it out all over the cybersphere or whatever it's called out there. So we're having difficulties with that. Every time we try to reach out to a support system or to a support department with this software, they refer us back to our IP provider or our Spreaker platform. Spreaker, every time we contact their support people, they refer us to old, outdated videos and things that you can read, and you're supposed to follow instructions. The software programs have changed over the years. They have progressively moved up, have more features. They've taken away features. They've done things and really tweaked them up. While people that follow those software parties don't keep up on their end. So that's our dilemma. We're waiting for Spreaker to get back with us. So we're stuck in the middle. We're reaching out to other broadcasters. What we need to do is take a whole day and reach out to other broadcasters that use this. It's it's one of the best software programs out there. It's the best. It's been the best for 15, 16, 17 years. And it keeps getting better. My problem is that we can't synchronize or integrate one with the other because there's some missing things. I don't know why I'm saying all this. I really don't. But anyhow, that's where we stand. So we come on the air, and we just like to have a good time until we get this thing figured out, and then we are going to bring multiple programs onto the platform throughout the entire day. So you'll be able to tune in and listen to these programs that we have been made available. And hopefully we will build our audience through these programs and so on and so forth. Oh my. Now, I didn't do it. I wasn't successful. I feel bad. I'm lonely. I'm brokenhearted. I want to change.
To me Come on in, come on up, come on over for the merriest time of year. Come on up, come on in, get together for a good time. Smile, my dear. Come on in, come on up, come on over. We'll be dancing round the tree. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3. We know the time is short. We blink and then it's gone. So we better make the most of what we've got. So take your neighbor by the hand and join the dance parade before the clock strikes and it's all too late. Come on over, it's the friendliest time of year. Come on up, come on in, nothing better than to give the gift of cheer. So come on in, come on up, come on over. We'll be singing all them songs. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3. Ba-bow, ba-da-ba-ba-bow, ba-da-ba-da. Come on in, come on in, get together. Come on in, nothing better. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3.
Here we are, a cold December night. Snowflakes fall, wonderful, magical. It's that time when everybody smiles, eyes are shining bright. I still remember how I used to feel. Look at us now, walking around in the snow. We do it in a very Christmas way. Soon
December again. I can't believe it. Whatever happened to the rest of the year? It went by so fast, I barely did see it. Now I'm calling all angels high. If you are there, help me find the Christmas spirit again. The Christmas spirit again. And one place in my heart that was there from the start. I want that Christmas spirit again. I find myself wandering downtown, window shopping, listening to the sound from some street choir caroling through the air, and the smell of the big Christmas tree in the square. Here comes the Christmas spirit again. That Christmas spirit again. And one place in my heart that was there from the start, from the start. Here comes the Christmas spirit again. That Christmas spirit again. One place in my heart that was there from the start. You know I'm trying to tell you, my friend, I found the Christmas spirit again. I found that Christmas spirit again.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, you are listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. I hope your Friday evening is going great. If it's already Saturday where you're listening from, I hope that your Saturday is just wonderful. So regardless of where you're at and regardless of what time it is, I am so delighted that you've taken some time to be able to tune in to the George Espenlaub Show. We have run 3 programs again tonight. Our endeavor is to run many, many, many more if we can just figure this thing out. Tonight we ran Unshackled, the oldest dramatized radio program in history. produced and directed by Pacific Garden Mission out of Chicago, Illinois. They are timely, they are relevant, and they are needed in our society today. And if you want to support a great cause, just go to Pacific Garden Missions, I think it's .org, or just type into Google Pacific Garden Mission. It'll pop right up. If you want to support a great cause, support those people. They've been around for 120 years, ministering to the poor, the downtrodden, the brokenhearted, the afflicted, and they've done so much for so many people over those 120 years, and they are still functioning, and they need each and every one of our help. So if you want to help someone, help them. The next program that we did, or the second program that we did tonight, was Destined for Victory. That's a new one. We've run that about 4 times now. Pastor Paul Shepard out of California, his program, we're running it now on our show. And there are others. I mean, we have many others that we are going to be running here on the George Espenlaub Show. Now, for something that I can explain, on the George Espenlaub Show page on Facebook, the George Espenlaub Show, is our live stream videos. And we have had a wonderful time this week. Go there, and you can see each and every one of the videos that we have done over the last several weeks on our George Espenlaub Show page on Facebook. There are some tremendous shows that's on there. In fact, they're all tremendous. And so please go there and take time to watch them, start a watch party so other people in your stream can see them, and then they can get pushed out even further. So I do know what I'm talking about when I say that. I'm talking about the changes that are changing because they're changing and we're changing on the radio side of things. I do know what we're talking about on the live stream thing. Well, I think I do. Anyhow, I'll try to do that. Anyhow, regardless.
Nothing you can say would do
60s.
The Swinging 60s.
The Swinging 60s. The Swinging 60s. The Swinging 60s Show with Harry Burt on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is Harry over here in Ireland. Welcome you to the Swinging 60s Show. Sunday evenings, 2000 hours GMT. I will play Beatles, Kinks, Beach Boys, Carpenters, Elvery Brothers, lots of classic oldies. We have quizzes. We have all things going on here. So Google the Swinging 60s Show. Be heard. Come into the chat room.
And do that. The Swinging 60 Shows. Google it with Harry Burke. The Swinging 60 Shows, or come right here on the Spreaker platform and type in that little search box thingy up there, The Swinging 60 Show, and you will find Harry. He will again pop up. He will be on Sunday. He comes on Sundays around 8 p.m. his time in Northern Ireland, which is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon my time here on the East Coast, and you can do the math with the other time zones. But please, he puts on a tremendous show. He's got it rocking. He's got it rolling. And he's got a chat room that will make you laugh. And you can even get some stale bread while you're at Harry's chat room. He serves stale bread. Hey, Charlie, how many thingies do you got loaded up over there? All right, because I wanted to ask you this. We have been on for about almost an hour. Charlie, would you like to go a little bit longer? Can you pop some stuff up there on that board as we move along? I mean, we won't stay on too long, but, you know, you can. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, instead of signing off, we usually sign off about an hour, a little better than an hour. Let's just hang in there because it's Friday night, and wherever you're at, you might be just tuning in to the George Espenlaub Show, and we want to entertain you some more. So you just hang in there with us. We won't stay on too extra. No, that's not good English. We won't be here much longer. It's just people are enjoying themselves out here on the dance floor. That's what I'm trying to say. Not only out here on the dance floor, but outside also, where the speakers are set up, the monitors are out there. You got to be here at the Funny Farm to understand what I'm saying and to appreciate the scene that is laid out in front of you, and we can see it all here from the sound room windows. It's hilarious every time we do a show. So we're going to stay just a little bit longer. Charlie's going to load some more things up on his board over there. Give me the nod. I just watched the dooflicky on my computer move, and because he clicks and does all this, you know, all the technical stuff. I just sit here and watch it. You know, but anyhow, the only thing I really do is I mute my mic, and that's what people are saying right now. Espenlaub, mute your mic, please. Mute your mic and go away.
happy endings were not something for me. I drove around all across the land, thought that I was caught in a one-man band, but playing all those sad and lonely songs. My faith was lost, my hope was gone. My dreams were shattered and I was done. I was roaming down the street in my weary feet, and then you came along with the love so strong. You took me out of the cold into the fire. You're picking me up when I'm down on the ground. Whenever I'm low, you are lifting me higher. And when I am lost, you make sure that I'm found. Out of the cold into the fire. Out of the cold into the fire. This is too good for a man like me, be treated by someone so tenderly. I'm afraid that I might wake up someday. Sometimes I feel like I'm someone else. I don't really know if I can trust myself. When I think of who I used to be, my faith was lost, my hope was gone. My dreams were shattered and I was done. I was roaming down the street in my weary feet, and then you came along with the love so strong. You took me out of the cold into the fire. You're picking me up when I'm down on the ground. Whenever I'm low, you are lifting me higher. And when I am lost, you make sure that I'm found. Out of the cold into the fire. Out of the cold into the My faith was lost, my hope was gone. My dreams were shattered and I was done. I was roaming down the street in my weary feet, and then you came along with the love so strong. You took me out of the cold into the fire. You're picking me up when I'm down on the ground. Whenever I'm low, you are lifting me higher. And when I am lost, you make sure that I'm found.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, we have a request. Yes, we have a request from none other than Gertrude Duflicki. She just left this sound room. We were startled when all of a sudden we heard this. Charlie and I both turned around because, you see, that's our squeaking door that leads into the sound room that has been squeaking for years. And our maintenance man, Travis, has not gotten around to fixing it yet. I know he's a busy man around here on the funny farm, but surely, really? Come on. But anyhow, when we heard that, we both turned around, and there she stood. Oh, boy. And we thought we were really going to get it now. We just looked at one another. Here we are, headphones on, Charlie on that side of the room, I'm on this side of the room. He's over there jigging around, But that screeching door, you can still hear. It's a different sound, and you can hear it even with your headphones on. And when we looked, she had that look on her face like she was going to tear us up one side and down the other. But then she smiled. Oh, that took us both by surprise. I thought Charlie was going to faint. But nonetheless, this is what happened. Charlie, while the music was playing, took his headphones off and just held them in his hand and said, Gertrude, I can't talk like Charlie does, but he said, Gertrude, what can we do for you on this fine Friday night? Oh, he was so polite. She said, Charles. She's never called him Charles before in her life. The only one that calls Charlie Charles is Miss Ernestine. But now, Gertrude did it. She said, Charles, I want you to do two things for me. He said, yes, ma'am. I was struck by his politeness. She said, I want you to play that song that you just played again. And he said, okay, what's the second? And she said, that song that y'all played a couple times earlier in the program, I want you to play that one too. So Charlie said, so you want, and he looked up the song. He said, you want us to play Out of Control and Out of the Cold into the Fire? She said, yes, Charles. Oh, my goodness. And with that, she turned around and walked out. Wow. That was amazing. And so, we are going to honor Gertrude Duflicky's request. We are going to play those two songs. Someone might say, well, this will be the third time you played Out of Control. I know that. But, you see, we played it the first time because Charlie had it on his board. We played it the second time because Charlie wanted to play it again. I wanted to play it again. The people on the inside wanted to play it again. And the people on the outside wanted to play it again. So we played it again. You know what I'm saying? Now, Gertrude Duflicky came in, blew us away, because usually when you run into Gertrude Duflicky, oh, you are in for a time. But anyhow, she came in and she politely requested that we play Out of Control for the third time and Out of the Cold into the Fire for the second time. And so you know what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and Romans and countrymen, we're going to do what Gertrude asked us to do. So everybody, they're having a blast out on the dance floor. Everybody get up, tap your feet, snap your fingers, bob your head, and shake your booty, because here we go. One more time. Hit it.
Went for a walk with the stars last night. Did not believe that I would end up right. Lucky endings were not something for me. I drove around all across so tenderly. I'm afraid that I might wake up someday. Sometimes I feel like I'm someone else. I don't really know if I can trust myself. When I think of who I used to be, my faith was lost, my hope was gone. can lay it all down with me. 'Cause in the end, I'm just trying to show you you don't need more pain and misery. And baby, 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 you gotta hold on to what we got and give me, give me, give me all of your love, all of your love. Yeah, baby, 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 you gotta hold on to what we got and give me, give me, give me all of your love, all of your love. 'Cause me and you, we got a good thing going. Don't cast it off. Just let this love keep showing. Yeah. You say you're tired and you're growing weary. I'm here to give you everything you need. Your heartaches and pain will all heal with time, girl. Your love is mine if we plant the seed. And baby, 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 you gotta hold on to what we got and give me, give me, give me all of your love, all of your love. Yeah, baby, 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 you gotta hold on to what we got and give me, give me, give me all of your love, all of your love.
Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you watch all night, 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 watch all night. Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Baby, now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Watch all night, 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 watch all night.
This ain't funny no more. You're gonna hurt me. Come on, horse. Slow. Whoa. Somebody stop this horse. Where's the brakes? Oh my God, where's the brakes? Pops, I'm coming through. You gotta help me stop this horse. Somebody open that door. Help me. Oh, this isn't gonna be good. Whoa, horse. Whoa. The animal, you're gonna kill me. Get me off of here.
Oh boy, Charlie. I told you never know what's going to happen around here on a Friday night. Well, we spent about, an hour and a half tonight? We still have plenty of time. But we're going to wrap it up. When you hear that sound, it's time for Charlie and I to get on out of here. I hope you had a pleasant evening. I know we did. Unshackled, Destined for Victory, and the George Espenlaub Show all run simultaneously. And we have more where that comes from. I trust that you will be back with us. I know we'll be on the air sometime tomorrow. We'll put it up on the Facebook. We'll put it up on the Facebook page, the George Espenlaub Show page. Oh, goodness gracious. Man, I make blunders coming in, blunders while I'm in, and blunders when I'm going out. But nonetheless, that's just the way it is around here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. And I hope that many, many more people listen to us even after we sign off the air, because it is available. iHeartRadio, Spotify, on and on and on and on it goes. You come right back here to Spreaker, and you can listen to it again. On our Facebook page, you can listen to it. It'll take you right to it. And you can even download it and distribute it as you please. And we hope that you do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, thank you for lending me both of your ears tonight. I trust that you'll have a very pleasant night. If it's already daytime, I hope that you have a wonderful day. But until tomorrow, this is George Espenlaub and whole gang here at the Funny Farm saying thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. May God keep you in the center of his hand. Good night, everybody.